He's so confident what McZee's doing.
I think we're live now, right?
I don't see anything on YouTube yet.
Yeah, live. We are live.
Wonderful.
Let's get the link posted up for the people. Get in the rookie Discord if it's not there.
Just looks like it just got pushed. Let's see.
All right, so we're live, good to go. Everything's happening. Can they hear us? Oh yeah, okay, so they can hear us. Okay,
Yes,
well,
they
welcome
can.
to the
Yep.
S87 SHL Draft. We've got an exciting and unique series of circumstances coming ahead with what is sure to be a quick and lively draft with attentive GMs and no trades whatsoever, if I had to guess. Any opening thoughts before we get into the draft, Nike?
Different complexion this year than the last couple of seasons. There seems to be one specific team missing from the top five, but overall, I think also a very interesting mix as we have, quite a few folks stacked up there in good order in the first 6 picks. It's going to be a good draft. I think this is a great class, and looking forward to seeing where folks end up this evening.
Yeah, I mean the obvious lack of Madison on the top part of this draft is truly a tragedy to everyone. But there is some purple representation still remaining, with SFP having 3 picks in the top 13. So for lovers of the color purple, fear not. It's still pretty prominent inside the top parts of the draft. I think the main story of this draft, before we get into it, was the sheer amount of goalies. I think there's like 14 goalies in this draft or something.
And there are some heavy hitting names in that list of goalies. But I think that it's probably time for us to get right into picks, right, Hiff?
Are
we about ready to go?
Give it a bit more just in case. We got. Okay. How about we let you make that pick up ahead coming, and then we'll go. Just to make sure you're not overloaded with information. Yeah, there are a lot of really great recreate goalies and some fun new gen goalies, so we'll be sure to see them and where they go. Also, some excellent position players. Not to dismiss them at all. There's some great recreate talent and new gens. A lot of great energy coming from people. Some really fun media by some of the new gens to make money, and there's been some great reads. I think recently we had one was about the goalies in the draft class was by that was Carlson's. I put it out. It's pretty fun. Hexagon did scouting reports for the draft eligible rookies. He's in the draft class. We had the Morbin Norman superhero draft board guide,
which was awesome.
Yeah, very fun. How much would your player name be a superhero or a villain, and where you would be drafted accordingly based on your name. Very very fun, unique article. We had the Spyro the Dragon article by Greek God, another first gen in this class. Those are just some of the recent medias that have come out by players in the class, and just really fun to check out. While you're waiting for the GM's draft. If you want to, I'm not saying you should, but if you want to and you want them to hurry up, be sure to go in the rookie Discord or anywhere you have a local GM, tag them and tell them to hurry up because you want to see the picks. This is entirely an issue of GM's makings, so be sure to bother them, especially me, Cool. It's not his fault, but he deserves it.
I think it is going to be a long night, just based on the initial flurry. The first round has been super interesting.
I'd
There's
say
a lot of
get your
folks in this
coffee, get
class.
your whatever keeps you up, whatever keeps you up at night. Yeah, don't eat turkey or whatever puts you to sleep because it's gonna be a while. Okay. We're getting close. It's happening. That's where that player was taken already. Is that a double pick? No, I'm just
No, that's good.
I'm just high on the excitement of the draft, clearly.
It's not the only
like you,
thing.
who's high on cocaine.
Jesus.
Oh, it's that player. Okay, no, yes. Yeah, I'll let you know. We're getting close, Pyro. I just want to make sure that the GMs have done enough where we're not gonna overtake them and need to bother them to hurry up again. All right, this time we can actually blame somebody here. So let's go. Show some hustle.
That's because I got to. The stress of that is over. We're ready to get stuck into picks, I guess.
All right, yeah, we can get into it now. First overall, the San Francisco Pride received this selection. Gabe and Jay Reiser are delving into the junior pool for a first gen. They're looking at the, if you want to flip it over when you're ready, the Yukon Malamutes. From the Yukon Malamutes, it's Jager Erickson, the user Synesthesia. Great energy, lots of TP. He's been max earning. The bank account's solid, 7 million, still needs some work. But he came in as a waiver pickup. He's been absolutely dynamite in the Yukon locker room. He's doing a lot of scouting for them for the upcoming draft. Just a very kind person. He's got a lot of retro game stuff. He's got like 8 different retro game systems, I swear. But just a really fun, cool dude to have in the locker room. Great pick. And Jay Reiser from Yukon delving back into his junior pool to take a fellow Malamute first overall. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats to Lester Seal. Lester Seal is so fun to get to know. Had some really great chats during this recruiting process, and I think has like really kind of shot up the chart here in the last, I would say, week and a half. I don't think that there's any surprise. Like I was hearing rumblings early in the season from the Malamute folks that we've got in our Chicago locker room that were like, there's something special with this person. So no surprise at all that like the league started to finally figure it out here at the last minute. But this is a well-deserved first overall pick, and I'm excited to see what Lester Seal does with SFP. And so that brings Montreal onto the clock. I'm going to take over for Hiff for a minute because it looks like he's actually on the clock.
No, I got it. We're good.
Oh, you're good. All right. Hiff, I'll let you take it away then for pick number 2. I think Montreal's got the pick in.
Yeah, the Montreal Patriots are pleased to select. I don't know. Is your stream lagging behind? I don't know why it's not flipping. But they're going to take June Grumathan, the user Grum, heading to the Patriots. Grum is coming in with a very large bank account, a known quantity, a great earner, coming in with some great consistency. Defense is a premium position. Montreal needed a bunch of defensemen because all they've done is draft forward since the dawn of time. So being able to get someone on defense is going to be huge for them for the long term. 37 million in the bank has been great. He's been one of the top earning players in terms of TP over that time period, and should be a very solid pick for the Patriots.
Yeah, and I think just talking with the Montreal folks a little bit before the draft, they were looking for some pair up with some of their younger D. I think it was last season that they drafted, last season or the season before that it was last season that they drafted Kralj, who's on Vancouver now, and they were looking for a defensive partner for Dallas there. So I think that Grum kind of perfectly fits that bill. They're going to have that young core top end D pair to take them into the future. So great pick, and excited for Grum because I know that in chatting earlier in the week was excited about, potentially ended up in the top 5 here. So great pick from Montreal.
Yeah, this will bring us up to pick 3. We have a really bad team on the clock. Like, I'm surprised we even, I thought we were going to relegate them, but surprisingly, they have managed to stay in the SHL through favors or bribes or cocaine. Who knows, really? But the Chicago Syndicate will be selecting, and they'll be delving into the junior pool. Did you want to announce your vaunted first high? Is this the first high pick you've had since being GM?
this is this is the first pick I've made in like 6 or 7 seasons. But yeah, excited to announce that third overall, Chicago is drafting No Face. No Face coming to the SHL from the SSL and ISFL. Just a slam dunk person all around. We spent a ton of time getting to know No Face during the scouting process. He and I are actually draft classmates in the SSL as well. Has obviously brought along a couple of his buddies from those fellow leagues, but just an all-around great guy from the UK. We had a ton of fun on a podcast last night. He's been super active in the podcast game here in the SHL. So just like really excited. We've had a long-standing kind of relationship with the Kraken. I think that they always have a great set of folk coming from their program, and so we in Chicago definitely see the value in kind of continuing that. So really excited to bring No Face in at third overall.
Also, this render absolutely fits your team to a T.
Yes, perfect. Like literally perfect to add to the crime family.
Old man in black and white. What else can you want? He's got a fedora on. Yeah, no, this is a great pick. Very quality first gen, massive bank account, max earning TP. Plays defense. Always good to get a defenseman. Finding a quality user to put on your blue line is a great way to kick off a rebuild. Or is it a full rebuild, or is it a retool? Should we call it?
A bit of a retool, but it's early yet. We'll see.
So the owners didn't authorize a rebuild. So you're stuck with the retool motif. Gotcha. Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic pick. No Face is excellent and should be a great core piece for Chicago as they move forward.
And so we're just going to run those 3 picks back now, as SFP is now back on the clock at 4.
It's like they never left. I can't tell if he's ready or not. That's my problem.
Maybe not yet. Yeah, so Trips makes a great point, right? You go SFP Montreal Chicago, SFP Montreal Chicago, and then finally buck the top 6 after that. So, and I think as we go through, so SFP owned their own pick at 1, right?
2 was a trade from Montreal that they got from Madison that I got from Toronto.
Right. Chicago owned the pick from Baltimore. SFP's pick at 4 was not their own.
He's posting? Or is that, I can't tell if it's ready or that's what he's showing. God damn. All right. Anyways, pick 4. The San Francisco Pride are taking Snow Poppy, the user L Poppy. An absolute dynamo. He was a great person to scout. Can you show your other screen, Pyro? Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but like this screen you're sharing, can you show the other one where you're showing the YouTube stuff? But yeah, he's a great scouting conversation. When I asked Dude Man about him, he said he reminds him of Metafiction last season. Just has that it factor, like a great first gen, great person to have in the locker room, sees a lot of potential in him. Very great person to be able to bring in. The render is absolutely adorable. It's like this little abominable snowman. But yeah, wonderful pick. If you can get the money going, he's going to be a long time great user for the Pride and something they can really build around with the first gen energy they're bringing into the San Francisco locker room of late.
Yeah, I think that San Francisco was pretty high on Poppy and No Face together. Both guys are awesome, and the render here is awesome because I think Poppy at the minute is actually skiing out in the western U.S. Was taking a weekend to spend some time getting out on the slope. So I think it's perfect to have the Snow Poppy little Yeti render while he's spending some time out shredding POW at the moment. So perfectly fitting. Congrats to Poppy. I think 4th overall, well deserved.
All right, and 5th overall is bringing us back to Montreal. The cycle continues. And they will be looking in the direction of... I believe it's about that time for another recreate. We've had, what, 3 first gens so far? We need a bit of an old head action here going. Lots of great names on the board for the recreates, but we're going to delve into the... Can't tell if he's ready.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely before we get to that page, right? There's definitely still more than a few really popular recreate names here, kind of at the top of the TPE list. And then if you go down a little bit even further than that, kind of like top 10 TPE list, there's some great names in the next 10 or 22 that will bring that locker room activity that everybody is, wanting after. So I think from both angles, both from a TPE perspective and from like just personalities and fit, there's great names on the recreate side, and then you've also still got some like really great first gen. So we've been a little bit heavy here on new gen folks, but I won't be surprised if the next couple of picks we see some more recreates come off the board.
Yeah, and at pick 5, we'll be delving into the Quebec City Citadels pool. The Montreal Patriots will be taking Emmanuel Maximova, the user Enigmatic. And he is just an absolute fantastic user, incredibly friendly, always down to join any team-oriented activities, whether it's watching movies, playing games, hanging out, being part of a team. Just a great person to have in your locker room and build a team around. Can't say enough good things, other superlatives. But seriously, like an absolute fantastic pick for Montreal here. Complete slam dunk.
Yeah, and he is awesome. Like this is just the proof is in the pudding, right? She's put together great players in the past. Montreal's going to be thrilled with Maximova. I think her former player was a D, so moving to forward here.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about in scouting her love of TV, movies, sci-fi, all those other things. So just like a person with a ton of varied experience, I think is going to connect with pretty much any locker room. So slam dunk again for Montreal.
And this will bring us back to the Chicago pick at pick 6. And I think we're about to head in a direction of a user that makes a lot of sense. If there's someone who, was going to be a Chicago player in this draft, I think outside of the person with the Mafia render, this person would probably be them. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would say if everybody looked at the scouting list for this draft class and said that's the one person I can guarantee Chicago is going to take, this is that person.
And at pick 6, it's J&H.
Well,
I'm kidding.
so if I will let you announce the name only because you paid for the name.
That's true. But we're just waiting for the card to be ready.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to miss the card on this one specifically, just for your benefit.
I know Raj. I guarantee Raj made this card, and I guarantee Raj had a great time with it. But yes, at pick 6, the Chicago Syndicate are selecting Ryder Halak II, the user Slicer user. Max earning player, solid bank account of 13 million. Slicer is a great person. No one ever has any problems with him. He's a very easygoing person, very affable and friendly. Great person to have in the locker room, build a team around. Two very solid picks for Chicago so far. The render is Halak and Ryder on the announcer from the Phantom Menace of Star Wars in Episode 1. So just a true abomination. And I paid for the charity to make him do it. So I hope he enjoys it. But it's a great inside joke. Ryder Halak II. It's a popular Habs meme from when the Habs would always offer Ryder and Halak and a second round pick for basically every good player in the league, and it was super annoying. However, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Slicer, and I'm sure, Nike, you have more to say about him.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, for me, I'm so thrilled to have Slicer back. I mean, for all the seasons that we spent together as, co-GMs, it's just so easy to work with. And I'm really excited to have him back eventually on the Chicago first line, like all those years that we had Mulgrain on the first line in Chicago. So he's earned 6 overall. He's earned his spot back in the Chicago War Room. Just like so excited to have one of my closest friends on the site back.
All right, this brings us to pick 7 on the clock. We'll be looking at the Los Angeles Panthers will be selected.
And LAP being the first team that's like finally knocking down the door of, hey, it's somebody else's turn right now, right? Like, it's been the San Francisco, Montreal, Chicago show so far. Now all of a sudden LA is like, hey, there's other teams. We'd love to get a chance to pick here, please.
Yeah, they've been having some great selections. Also, in terms of their youth, they had a definite Rookie of the Year contender in Lord Lorenzo Allstott, Lord Marshall Lorenzo Allstott. Sorry. So the youth movement in LAP is strong, and we'll see how it looks moving forward. But all things pointing to signs going well in Los Angeles so far. At pick 7, this name was designed specifically to give me grief. Piotr Mishvienderez. I'm sure Chris could pronounce it. I can't do that. Mick Lumberjack heading to Los Angeles. A center with max earning TPE, a solid bank at 15 million. Mick Lumberjack made it a bold choice to make an article talking about the logos of teams. Some teams, did better than others, so it might have affected his draft board ranking. It did mine. But no, he's a great person. Great scouting conversation. He joined with No Face as well as one other user.
Poppy.
I forget who it is. Poppy. Yeah.
No Face, Poppy, and McLumberjack are definitely buddies. They've been on like every podcast together, the three of them.
So yeah, all three of them going in the top 7. Testament to how much they've been enjoying the league, incorporating themselves in it, and just what kind of great people they are for the community. Excited to see his journey here, and LAP is a great spot to go, and it's a very good pick.
Yeah, Mick Lumberjack is probably the new create that I actually spent the most time talking to during scouting, because he was like really heavily invested in trying to figure out the mock draft and who was going to go where, and was like always searching for information with all the GMs. So had a ton of fun kind of theory crafting all the places that all the folks could end up. If folks don't know, I also love a mock draft, and I'm one to like even just message the other GMs like, what are you thinking? And it's interesting as a GM because folks don't want to tell me anything, but I can still kind of surmise what might be happening. So Mick Lumberjack and I had a ton of fun just kind of like who might make a trade to get ahead of somebody else, and so I'm not even sure that he would have put himself at 7. But I think this is a great landing spot. Like you said, another new create in the top 10. Just to, like it. This is such a great class, and this is a lot of fun to have all these folks coming in and bringing new life to these teams that are kind of in that. This top 7 teams are all kind of trying to find new cultures, new locker rooms. LAP just building on what they've been building the last couple of seasons, so it's going to fit right in there.
If you look at the top 10 mock, it's gone to complete shit already. It's been surprises left, right, and center. So pretty fun to see the chaos ensuing.
I think if you look for everybody in the Chicago locker room, if you look at their top 10, they probably have 7 of 10 already. So there's the benefit of playing of playing the game in PMs, of figuring out who's going where. Yeah, Slicer said 7 of 7 so far.
Damn. Okay, Slicer. But that'll bring us to 8. So we'll see if he can maintain his streak so far. The Tampa Bay S87 Barracudas, because Lord knows they don't have any picks beyond this damn season, are going to be selecting. They'll be pleased to take Scotty McHits from the Nevada Battleborn. Scotty's a longtime Sim League veteran. He's been in every single Sim League, earns well in all of them, done GMing, has done a bunch of great players. Should be a great fit for Tampa with what they're building. And yeah, a wonderful selection.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at the pedigree here, right? Former player that was, I think, a Hall of Famer. Did the original Scotty McHits get elected to the Hall of Fame? I can't recall, but was like a top 5 pick to Seattle back in the day. Spent a ton of time in Seattle and then Montreal. Just G2019, awesome user, gonna fit right in. And I think I heard earlier in the week that Tampa Bay was like, if Scotty is there, it's a no-brainer. And so I think that they're probably pretty excited to see the way that this first 7 picks has worked out, so that they could nab Scotty here.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to be stoked if they were that high on him, especially. Is this the trade? No.
No. Atlanta will select at 9.
So in terms of the SHL, along a trend we've noticed a lot recently is there have been Pokemon renders coming left and right. We haven't had one yet, but our first one of the draft is Blaze Iken, the user Zeagle1, heading to Atlanta. Last player was a long time Inferno, won the 2 cups with them recently. I think as well as another one before, but an Atlanta lifer to be sure, and heading back to a team that clearly loves having him and prioritizes him, and excited to see their journey as they're bringing in some youth now after not making the finals for the first time in 4 seasons.
Yeah, Zeagle, I really love Zeagle. Like we had a fun scouting chat. Obviously, Jigglypuff, Mewtwo, like the history of the Pokemon names that are like just a little flavor of Pokemon. I really love this one. So I think it's a great pick for Atlanta, a perfect fit, somebody that they know and love and fits right in with their crew. And then obviously the render is fun, like just as a hockey player, like this jersey thrown on Blaziken is awesome, and also fits right in with the Inferno kind of like theme and lore. So I think all this stuff fits together for a perfect pick,
to the fire team,
just inside the top 10. Yep.
But this is where we will have a trade. The pick owned by Cincinnati, surprising absolutely no one, is going to be traded to San Francisco. God damn, that is small. I can't see that. There we go. So I have 13, the Atlanta first, the Minnesota S87 second, so 44, and SFP's 88 second, so that's 1344, and a next season San Francisco second for 10th overall. So a bit of a price to move up 3 spots. We'll see who San Francisco has their eye on at pick 10.
Yeah, I mean, this is to move up 3 spots, 2 seconds and a second in this class, which is fairly deep, pretty steep price. So obviously San Francisco is valuing pretty heavily what's left on the board here. They certainly have a specific person in mind, and they don't want to take the chance over the course of the next couple picks.
And we're curious to see who the mystery player is. And at pick 10, San Francisco is taking Chirpley Benson, user Hexagon6. We mentioned Hexagon earlier as he wrote the media that was in the about the draftees. A solid pick from the St. Louis. They're earning quite well. The bank, could use a little bit of work, but it's nothing to be too worried about. Bank is always fixable, and a great person heading to the San Francisco Pride. Their third first-gen selected on the top 10 picks.
Yeah, I mean, certainly setting that culture in Montreal. I think the last 2 seasons have been a little bit of a down. They had built a really great core, decided they were going to make the hard decision to reset, and just adding a bunch of new blood that's really excited to be part of their team. I think this is a great pick. I didn't get a ton of chance to talk to Hex during the scouting season, but I think highly regarded. The media has been great. So just, another piece for Montreal in what has been a really great first round for them.
Yeah, I believe we have I'm just guessing here, but I think we have another trade coming.
That was 10th overall, so Cincinnati would have been back on the clock here at 11. Is that right? Yes. Everybody who's working behind the scenes on the stream and making sure that we get everything right is earning their keep today. So everybody can.
There is a trade. I'm trying to find it here, unless I got it. No.
You got it. You want me to read it?
There it is. Yeah. So we have Cincinnati trading the pick to Atlanta. They'll be giving the S88 Atlanta first, S90 Atlanta first, and S88 Atlanta second in exchange for pick 11. So that's 2 firsts in 88 and 90 from Atlanta, and a second in 88 to Cincinnati. In exchange, Atlanta is receiving pick 11, the Nashville first, putting the Inferno on the clock.
Yeah, some pretty good. That's pretty good value there, I think, for Cincinnati, and obviously Atlanta. Just off the back of their pick with Blaziken is looking at the board that's left and saying, oh, there's definitely another player we want here, and they're kind of in that. Atlanta is definitely in this window where they could probably still hang on with the core that they've got and some of the young folks that they've got coming up. So they're prioritizing this draft class to kind of bridge that gap, and they're okay selling a little bit more into the future.
Yeah, it's also, they never really are a full rebuild team. They're more of a retool and get the people they want and keep that team going consistently. So this makes sense to get the person they want. They don't think the picks will be, too valuable. So they're not losing a bunch of value, but we'll see how it goes. And at pick 11, they traded up to take Marcus Kinnick, the user Operation Ivy. Again, another long-time recreate who's very consistent. He's got a solid bank account. He's been max earning. Played in Texas for a while. I believe when his player got a bit older, did a bit of a journeyman around the league. Played for some great teams, Atlanta being one of them. Great person. And is heading to Atlanta, where, they draft very well. So slam dunk pick. Excellent spot at number 11 to go and grab their guy.
Yeah, interesting for me because I actually, Ivy had been selected by Cincy in the expansion draft, and so I was actually in my own head expecting for Ivy to maybe go at this 10-11 swing where Cincy was going to have the back-to-back picks. So instead, Cincy trades the pick Atlanta, and Ivy ends up being selected 11 overall anyhow. So it's kind of just a funny circumstance that in my draft notes here, I said, wouldn't be surprised if ends up in Cincy at 10 or 11, but instead ends up in Atlanta at 11. A great pick, as you said, that historical, built a ton of great players, really fun person to be around. So I think it's a great selection for Atlanta.
Yeah, we'll be waiting to move on. But do we have another trade again? Or is this?
Yes.
That's you?
Chicago will be. Yes.
Damn it, Nike.
This one.
How dare you? But yeah, we're going to have a trade. Chicago is sending the pick over all the way down to Tampa Bay. The Barracuda are receiving pick 12 in exchange for the 88 Tampa Bay first, as well as pick 46, the Chicago second this season. So 88 Tampa Bay first and pick 46 this season in exchange for pick 12, bringing the Barracuda on the clock. We'll see what the pink fish people want to do today. And they are going to delve into the depths of Vermont, taking Sartan Mont-Louis. I don't think this player is actually from Vermont, but St. Louis played for Vermont in college, so a little fun fact. Zerg heading over to the Tampa Bay Barracuda. Zerg is a great player. When I drafted his goalie, he had some fun facts for me. One of them wanted to be when I drafted his goalie, if you remember, he had the very long Polish name. I just said, why? Why are you doing this to me? He made his day. He loved that, apparently. He met his wife joining a D&D game. He came late, but he was apparently one of her minions, so one of the bad guys. So he was beating up on her players. She had to fudge rolls to keep the players alive because he was so effective at bullying the PCs. His locker room will get front seats to the high drama that is his chicken coop. So instead of reality TV, you get chicken drama. Could be a good time. And car maintenance, apparently easier than you think. 15 minutes or more could save you 15% on car insurance.
But that's not car maintenance. That's car insurance.
Same thing. But yeah, Zerg's great. His goaltender is going to be a Hall of Famer if he's not already. I forget. Wonderful person to have a locker room. Great person to talk to. Making maybe not the most meta player, but should be a great time. Screening focused forward. Excited to see how the build goes.
So Zerg and I chatted literally like 2 or 3 hours ago for the first time ever. I just hadn't had Zerg on my radar necessarily. Really funny that he ends up going here with what was our 12th pick. But he was like, I suppose I'm probably not going to convince you to draft me, in the first 10 to 15 picks here, the 2 hours before the draft. So I'm really thrilled that, that it worked out for Tampa and Zerg. I think, as you mentioned, have like just that Hall of Fame credentials. We just had a fun conversation for a quick, like 20, 25 minutes. And he was nice enough to call us the gracious draft host. So I can't be more excited and pump the tires more for somebody who would speak so highly of us two scum. So congrats, Zerg, 12th overall. It's awesome. And so the question is, can we go 4 picks in a row with a trade?
Well, this will bring Cincinnati in the clock. They will be actually selecting after hiring Frenchie as the co-GM. Surprise, surprise, we're delving into the Ottawa Highlanders market, taking Siggy Holmvik, user Brandon. Brandon is one of the original SHL graphics gods from back in the day. Had a period of inactivity, but has come back as a force. The bank account is pretty solid. Could use some work, but he makes graphics, so I have no doubt that'll go up quick. Makes some fantastic artwork. Very knowledgeable hockey guy. Max earning TPE. Great user to be bringing in. Questionable music taste, I will say, but what can you do? We can't all be perfect.
This is about as OG as it gets, right? I mean, Brandon was around in the before we were in the teens of seasons, and I could be wrong.
I want to say he's a season 2 player. He
well, I was going to say was Brandon Holmes season 1 or quickly thereafter? But either way, if you wind back the clock, that is almost 15 years ago. So been around the league for
over 15 years.
Right. So been around the league through 5 sim engines or whatever it is. Our third site. Now seeing the portal, right, with all the with the way that teams started and all those seasons ago, like it's just a pretty cool story for Brandon to be back in the league, getting selected in the top 15 here. So I think we in Chicago really loved.
God bless the portal.
Yeah.
Good Lord, what a great change.
Anybody who doesn't know what it was like before then, we could pull up some threads if you're interested.
We talk about cap TV and PvPs.
Now there's a time and a place for a PvP. Let's not disparage the PvP. When you're talking about an STHS sim, the PvP.
Yeah, the time and the place for it was specifically in Game 7s. But I digress. We'll bring it up to Tampa Bay on the clock. The Pink Fish with their third pick in the top 14. And they'll be selecting Juho Koivunen. The user Juho. One of our European users. Juho is Finnish and a big fan of some Finnish Elite League team. I forget the name of them. But yeah, great person. Had a great career, max earning on his last player, who was a defenseman. Swapping over to forward this time and has come out as a force. Max earning TP with a great bank. And it's, looking to be part of a great young Tampa Bay group that's coming up and a key cog for them moving forward in the future.
Yeah, I think you nailed kind of my talking points. Juho kind of.
Did you get the name of the Finnish team?
No.
Okay.
Just one of our European users from Finland.
I'm going to search Juho. Sure. We're going to look at his recent posts. In the top 10 of them, he's going to mention the team. Pick number 3, Kiko Espo. Perfect. Nailed it. There it is. Cammy got it too. But yeah, Espo. Kiko Espo.
That's the name of the team?
Yep.
What a phenomenal
It's the city and the
name.
Team name, I believe. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Probably the coolest logo. It's like this little horseshoe with a crown in the middle. That's so Finnish. Like, so perfectly Finnish. It's got the white and the gold with the blue anchored around it. Anyways, I digress. That's
I mean, you're saying it's Finnish, but does Finland exist? Do you not know this? Do you not know this? Okay, so
I'm afraid of where your brain is going.
You know how there are margins of errors in census data?
Yes.
Okay, so if you took the global margin of error for the world's population, it's roughly equivalent to the amount of people
to the size
who
of
are
Finland.
allegedly in Finland. So Finland doesn't exist is essentially the prevailing theory. I don't want to say meme because it's true.
So does that apply to any country with
just
less
Finland.
than? Okay, just
only Finland.
We're only applying to Finland.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right, so we've agreed Finland doesn't exist. Anyways, we'll go to the next pick. Pick 15, apologies. The Los Angeles Panthers will be selecting, and they'll be looking at Morbin Norman. These are more than just a guy. Great defenseman prospect coming from the Carolina Kraken, aka the SHL Player Factory. Is this from that terrible vampire movie? Is that? I don't know the name of it, but I know it's Morbin something. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not watch vampire films, so no.
I
will get on it.
It was a big theme for a long time. Morbius, which is also Raj's favorite movie. But Yeah, no, it's a great pick. Great user coming in. Had some great scouting conversations. Heard wonderful things, and excellent selection.
It's a Morbius. I see the film. I'm not sure if the player render matches, but yes, I think exactly all that you said. Carolina just continues to crank out quality users, a waiver claim. So didn't join until a little bit later in the season. The earning has been great. That's a great bank for somebody who's been kind of sliding along. Just another great pick here. I think that more than just a guy is going to have a great impact in the locker room. And probably is going to be a part of the core in Carolina that they'll probably look to compete here again in the next 2 seasons or so in the J.
And this will bring us up to back-to-back Manhattan selections. And they'll be delving into the surprise, Manhattan going to the QCC market. And they'll be taking Matthias Vamos. If I butchered that, I apologize. But the user Salming. Salming's last player was a max earning player, longtime user. Was a big fan of his for his whole career moving forward. Has an excellent bank and max earning TPE. Again, doing a bit of a maybe not the optimized build. It's kind of going for his own thing and just making his own player, which nothing wrong with that. But it could be a great player and something to build around for the youth movement coming into Manhattan, as they have gone from contenders to rebuilders this offseason.
Yeah, I think Salming, obviously old player, spent a ton of time with both Seattle and Hamilton. Brings a quieter kind of like presence to the LR, but has been a consistent earner. I think bank, generally speaking, has been kind of propped up here the last season or so on Chirper. I think it's a perfect nod to like when you get to a bank level like this, where you're in that kind of 30, 40, 50 million, you could sustain essentially a whole player if you're just willing to do your weekly checks and your max training and just stick to Chirper, get your 600,000 a week. So as I was looking at Salming myself as a scouter, I was like, this is the perfect kind of person with, they're going to basically be able to perpetually earn max through the entirety of their player. So when you start to get down here towards the second half of the first round, we've got a lot of great folks left on the board. This is just one that checks all the boxes. Bank is great. Presence is great. Has that history of building good players. So maybe going a little bit off meta with the build, but I think that's fun. And QCC to Manhattan, obviously that pipeline is great, and they know that they're going to get somebody who is involved and has a ton of fun in the J and rolls right into playing in the SHL.
Yeah, this will bring us up to a trade, as you might have heard of this team. They're known as the Tampa Bay Barracuda, are trading into the draft. They will be giving the S88 New Orleans first in exchange for pick 17, so a 1-to-1 swap. Manhattan moving their pick back, bringing the Barracuda on the clock at pick 17. And they will. Oh, we got to wait for them to get the player card up. But this is the fourth first round selection for Tampa Bay, and they have another one coming. So 5 in round 1 this season.
Yeah, Tampa Bay certainly leaning into this draft class, and if there was a draft class to lean into, this certainly in the last couple of seasons is a great one to select. So I know Chris has been very, very busy in the trade market already, and not surprising that they've got a whole list of folks that they like, and they're kind of just chipping away at that list.
Yeah, and they will be selecting Alex Bowl, user Cell Trace. Been max earning really well. The only problem is that bank count is very light. It's in the negative zone. But yeah, a wonderful person to talk to. Had a great scouting conversation with them. They are a Vancouver Canucks fan, so might be a bit of a bummer in the locker room with how bad the Canucks are. But great person to talk hockey with. Great user, and that great youth in Tampa Bay is going to be paying dividends for seasons to come.
Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to Sorry, I'm getting pinged on the side. I didn't get a chance to talk to Cell Trace during the scouting period here, but I think was quite popular with a number of GMs in the kind of second half here of the first round. And obviously, with Tampa Bay making another move here, they jumped at the chance for Cell Trace to join them. So it's a really great class. I think you're gonna see a bunch of folks new in that locker room, excited to all play together. So Cell Trace kind of, I think, maybe perhaps rounding out the last of the Tampa Bay picks in the first round.
Press X to doubt. But this will bring us to the New England pick at pick 18. Luke is going to be taking Lord Megatron, the user Fuzzerk. Very strong name. Not a Megatron render, but a Tom Wilson render, which you could argue is basically the same thing, because both are good at getting yelled at and make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, a great scouting conversation with them. Very fun person to talk to. Wonderful name. Gonna love seeing Lord Megatron in the SHL for years to come, as hopefully they score a lot and have a great career. The bank account needs some work, but a great earning waiver pickup heading to New England. Excited to see their career moving forward. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the Thunder Bay folks are starting to kind of fly off the shelves here. I will say one specific thing. If you look at the bank account and you have any semblance of concern, all you need to know is that if Luke is making a pick for somebody at this point in the draft, there's almost no chance that person is not going to find a way to earn and be a great addition to the New England franchise, because Luke almost never misses these late first round picks. So it's a pretty good nod that Megatron's going to end up being a great piece in the SHL. And so now we go, I believe Denver is on the clock at the minute.
It is looking like Denver's on the clock, and they will be delving into a classic PS1 game, Spyro the Dragon, Spyro Kuris, Greek God, heading to the Denver Glacier Guardians. Absolutely fantastic pick. One of the best first gens of this class for me. I'm kind of surprised he fell this far. I would have almost guaranteed he'd be a top 10 pick. But Denver swooping in to get an absolute steal of a selection. Great person to talk to. Max earning, Banks great. Coming from Carolina. Yeah, wonderful selection. Can't say enough good words about this.
Yeah, so I think this is a really awesome pick. I was secretly hoping that Spyro might sneak down a little bit further so we could end up with him in Chicago, because I really had a great scouting conversation. So Spyro, I think, found us from, I believe it was from the FHM forums. He mentioned to me that he had basically like min-maxed EHM to the point that the game was no longer fun anymore, and so moved on from doing EHM to FHM. And then as he started playing around with FHM 9, I think it was, he was like, I was looking for a file that might have NCAA, old NCAA players that I could play with in FHM, and just happened upon the SHL through the forums there, and that's how I ended up over here. So I think when Kari and the team in Carolina got to know that he was an FHM buff, was certainly interested. And I think that we've seen historically, if there might be somebody on your roster that has played the heck out of EHM and is also an FHM wizard. So
I don't know anyone on my team who's good at FHM, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So
like my OGM is notorious for not being good at that. So
there might be one other person I can think of that is really great with FHM. And so I personally am thinking that if teams are willing to let Spyro lean in, both in Carolina and now in the SHL, probably going to get some pretty great value of somebody that's helpful in kind of theory crafting, thinking about how to put lines together. So I will say likely to be a pretty great coach in the SHL at some point.
Yeah, I think that the league needs more great coaches, and sometimes people just need time to cook to get used to what the SHL has, different from maybe regular FHM. But when they get there, they can come up with a lot of cool, fun, nifty stuff, and it definitely adds to the league. It is great to see. Hopefully, another great coach incoming. But we have the Calgary Stampede. Jesus, no, Calgary Dragons on the clock, and they will be selecting Hansweli Hugentobler. With a name like that, he has to be playing for Team Switzerland. But yeah, the user Palace Posey 524. Max earning, solid bank, but needs some work for sure. But a great selection. I think is that Miroslav Satan render, or who is that? That's an old Buffalo. Jochen Hecht, maybe? What do we have here? I gotta find out. It's stuck in my
Where
head
do
now.
you store this information?
I don't know anything else, so it's a fair trade, I'd say.
Yeah, so Palace is certainly popular.
Ian Laperriere. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, look at the sag on the jersey. Like, it's so oversized. Phenomenal. Anyways, Palace super popular in the Newfoundland locker room. Just in chatting with Slicer before the draft, having been in Newfoundland, he was like, yeah, Palace is one to watch. So I think that Calgary probably saw a lot of that in their scouting conversation. This is a great pick. Earns really well. The bank number is positive. So great pick. And as we get down to the end of the first round, Calgary's been making some moves here, so it's great to see them bring in a great user, and that'll probably help round out this next core that they put together. That's going to be pretty competitive in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, this will bring us to the next pick on the clock. Is this a trade, or Chicago owns it?
This pick was owned originally by Seattle, traded to Chicago for Soviet Sexpot McLovin. I think that was just posted today to the site and is on the move again while Chicago is on the clock.
All right. Well, this user in particular is a pudding stirring bitch, is what I've been told. But the player being selected
hold on. Do the trade first. So 22nd overall is traded from Chicago to Tampa Bay in exchange for Nashville's season 90 first round pick. So Tampa Bay is on the clock. Chicago's not selecting here.
Correct. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is a pudding stirring bitch. It's Matthias Mouse, the user Finesta. He has a very cute dog named Ernest.
Oh, sorry. I got one step ahead of us. I was talking about pick 22.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Montreal is on the clock. We're good. My bad.
It's hard to tell with the background because it's purple. But yeah, F is a great person. Big book nerd. Has a very cute dog named Ernest. Just a wonderful person to bring in the locker room. Someone I was really hopeful for if we were going to take somebody at a position. Might be them. But they're a great selection to build that team off of. Has done some GMing and a lot of stuff in the ISFL. A bit more casual here in the SFL, but still a great person to have in the locker room.
Yeah, I think I echo everything you just said, Tiff. Like Finesta, really popular across a number of leagues, earns really well. That Nevada locker room is generally like really great culture and a fun group to be a part of. So this is a great pick, and what would probably be like a top 10 type person in a normal draft, but that just shows the depth of this class for somebody like Finesta to be going here at 21 to Montreal. And so I got ahead of us, but so 22 we've already talked about the trade that happens at 22. That's Chicago trading to Tampa Bay in exchange for the S90 Nashville pick. So Tampa Bay is now on the clock for back-to-back picks at 22 and 23. Is that right?
That's correct.
And so really this rounds us out. I know we were talking earlier about Tampa Bay essentially having 5 picks in the first round. That this ends up with 6, I believe.
6 first-round picks. Yes, absolutely ludicrous. But they will be taking Kuehl, the user Tom Tommen. The I Have Spoken Star Wars guy from the show The Mandalorian. Tom Tommen is a great guy. He does some kind of coding, I believe. I forget. We had a conversation about it. Very solid bank account. The earnings a bit light, but not bad at all. There were some reservations. He wasn't sure if he wanted to max earn or possibly be a J only player. That could be a big attributing reason to why he might fall at this point, because he's a wonderful person to talk to and a great user to have. But those reservations might be a bit keeping him down here. But I think it's a great pick if you can keep him going and in the long term. And yeah, excited to see what Tom Tommen does with his career.
Yeah, Tom Tommen with a brief stint in Chicago with his last player in between Chicago and Denver after the expansion draft. So we got a chance to get to know Tom quite a bit. Really enjoyed having him in our locker room. I think exactly the things that you said, AJ like a super person to have, really fun to be around, cool to hang out with. It's just a matter of earning. And so we've seen this over the course of the last 20 seasons, even like every once in a while somebody says, oh, I might just be a J player, and then they end up getting drafted to a team that they really like, and they have a ton of fun, and it just takes off from there. So Tom's been around for a little while. Really like him. Hope that this player kind of follows that same trajectory and ends up being a great piece for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, if I remember, Thief of Cheese on his Hall of Fame player had that I'm going to be a J only player, that came out and had one of the top 10 SHL players of all time. So, when the gamble pays off, you can get a very quality pick at a lower spot than perhaps expected, but the risk persists regardless.
Tampa Bay right back on the clock. These back-to-back picks are always fun, right? Because as a GM, you're looking at the list and you're like, well, I can have any 2, and so I don't have to necessarily. And when Tampa Bay is kind of like filling out the whole of their prospect class here, it's like, oh well, we've got a couple of defensemen, so we might go forward, and then you get 2 back-to-back picks, and you're like, oh, I don't have to pick between the best defenseman and the best forward. I can have both if I want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But we'll see what direction at 23 Tampa is going, as they are pleased to select Layla Egley, the user Box of Rocks, the defender coming from the Detroit Falcons. I've seen them in the YouTube chat. Definitely excited for the draft. The bank account is very light with only 100K left, but again, definitely fixable. TP earning is good for a waiver pickup. Defense is a premium position and should be a great piece on the back end for the Tampa Bay Barracuda.
Yeah, so Box and I had a really great scouting conversation. I said, how was your first season in Detroit? And their response was, aside from all of the losing, like I had a ton of fun. And I was like, that's the perfect attitude to have in the J. And I think found the SHL through a Google Gemini or whatever the Google AI summary thing is when you do a search. They were interested in just doing some more reading and kind of like happened upon the league because obviously there's a lot of writing that is involved with SHL media. And when they kind of started to find that this tabletop hockey RPG type light thing existed and all of these people were writing really cool like character stories, really kind of just got excited about the league. So I thought that's a great story of a different avenue of somebody finding our league a little bit different. And I hope Box of Rocks will stick around and be one of those people who's contributing to all of that writing pretty soon. And I think that'll be a good nod for that bank account ticking up pretty quick.
I figured if one of the AI was going to recommend people here. I thought it would be Grok, but nice of Gemini to get us some recruits. Be sure to pick up the recruitment TP when you make a player, Gemini. But we're about to round out the first round. The Madison Valkyries are on the clock with the pick they acquired by trading Patty to Edmonton. And they are pleased to select the first goaltender taken in the draft. It'll be Nicholas Lundberg, the user Rich. Rich of the titular Rich and Luke podcast is a wonderful user, great person to have in the locker room, very funny, very, very friendly, has been around the league a long time. He joined I believe, the season 20 draft. I'm sure Luke will tag me in GM chat and correct me and tell me it was season 17 HFFO, you dumbass. But we'll see what he says. Just a great person. He had been really excited about the potential of coming to Madison. And he was one of the top, 2 goalies I really had that I wanted. Came down to kind of like a coin flip on the day. But I can't be more excited to be able to bring Rich into the team. The last time we were on a team was in season 29 and 30, where we won back-to-back cups with the New England Wolfpack. So I'm excited for history to repeat itself and to murder parody together.
I mean, Rich is just the best. So despite the fact that this might be a little early for a goalie in a class where there's, 13 goalies, you can't go wrong with Rich.
If you want your person, you take your person.
Yeah. And I mean, that's really the story here, right? Like, you're taking the person a little bit more than the player, because
that's every goalie. Every goalie, you're taking the person over the player.
Yes. And so love Rich. So excited for Rich to be a first round goaltender selection. It doesn't happen all that often. And I think obviously going to be a great fit in Madison.
Oh, it was season 25. Luke made sure to tag me and let me know.
Good. Okay. Nice. Which is actually a little bit later than I would have thought, because that season 20 draft was huge. That was like one of the first, if not the first, Reddit classes, and I thought Rich was already here at that point.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited bringing Rich. Great person. Everyone who I've never seen anyone who's like, damn, that Rich guy, I don't like him. Never once have I seen anyone who wasn't a big Rich fan. But yeah, that'll conclude the first round. Did we want to take a break or just power through?
I'm good to power through, but it's the crew in the background that I'm more concerned around.
Round 2, we'll go for it. The Tampa Bay Barracuda are on the clock. They're taking the user Jerem, Tim Riggins Jr. TP is a bit light. The money's a bit light. His past couple players have maybe not had the optimal career that he might have hoped for. I believe he went 3rd overall in S63 on the original Tim Riggins, and didn't quite pan out as hoped for when he was taken by Tampa Bay then. But when he's around, he's a great person, great user. Hopefully he can stick this one out. Would love to see him grow and be a dynamic blue liner for the Tampa Bay Barracuda for seasons to come.
Yeah, and I believe Jerem is going to become, or is already, the co-GM in Tampa Bay. So this is Tampa Bay selecting their co-GM with their first available second round pick in the draft here.
Yes.
I don't know if that had already been posted on the site, but just making sure that I clarify that.
I think you just leaked HO information and you're being fined, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat the fine.
Can you afford to? You're still broke. But the Montreal Patriots are coming up with the next selection. And they will be taking an old alumni, Flu, heading back to Montreal, Hannah Soderberg-Motlock, the second goaltender taken to the draft. Flu is an absolutely fantastic person. The GM of the Yukon Malamutes in the SMJHL. Should be a great goalie for the future of the Montreal Patriots. And basically looks like him. If you side profile Flu in real life, he basically looks like the logo. So pretty iconic for him to return, and hopefully having a great career with the absolutely massive $341 million in the bank and max earning TPE.
Yeah, so Flu is basically got to have whiplash at this point, because over the course of 2 seasons went from Montreal to Chicago, right back to Montreal. But like this is exactly what you were just talking about, Hiff. Like as soon as the run on goalie starts, you're going to start to see people kind of quickly trickle off the board. Flew very much like Rich. You're taking the person, not necessarily the player, in terms of the goaltender. Such a fun person to have in the locker room. We have dedicated dedicated emojis in the Chicago locker room for Yabs. I mean, it's just like Flu is so awesome, and I think that the Montreal guys are going to be super happy to have him back.
Yeah, I mean, no one gets hyped about Polish Toronto Maple Leaf goaltenders quite like Flu. But this will bring us up to pick 27. The Denver Glacier Guardians will be selecting, and they will be taking Kellen Chamberlain, the user Chevy. You might have said the goaltender, it's too early to take a goaltender, but we've started a rush on them. So it seems to be the perfect time to take a goaltender. If you want to get your goalie, get it while the getting's good. Chevy is I believe his first player was a Hall of Fame goaltender. Great person. I did a Star Wars D&D campaign with some users from the SHL. Chevy couldn't make the times, but we did like a play-by-post with just me and him. It was a lot of fun. He's a great person to talk to. Great selection by the Denver Glacier Guardians, and a great backstep of the future there for sure.
I think if you look at the two picks that Denver has made here in this draft, there's a common thread or theme that I am noticing, and that is these are FHM experts, right? So they took Greek God there at the tail half of the first round, who we talked about his EHM, FHM experience. And then Chevy obviously is well known for his FHM, I believe it's FHM 8 tactical guide that he put together, which is kind of a large Excel spreadsheet that had basically characterized all the things that were documented in FHM and built it so that we could map our individual SHL player attributes to tactics and determine which tactics might be a good fit based on the current player profiles on each team. So I think Trips and Rash are leaning into, they probably want a little bit more folks involved in their coaching. I know Trips has done a great job with Denver to this point, but just bringing in two powerhouses of folks that have that significant experience with FHM.
What's really funny is if you go in the
Chevy's
FHM forums, you'll see a user with his YouTube name, the Geekazoid, and he'll be like, in this very specific situation of, and then list like the SHL criteria of players, what would you do for this tactic? So and so. It gets like a lot of opinions. So you can see the OG Chevy just like hunting FHM knowledge all over the forums if you go and look. It's a fun blast from the past in that regard.
Yeah, Chevy's awesome. So I think that this is again, like all of a sudden you're taking the awesome people with goaltenders, and you've started the run, Hiff.
I knew I was going to 100%.
So where does that land us here? So we're going to pick 28, which was originally owned by SFP, but we have a trade to announce. Is that right?
New England is trading into the class at pick 28. They will be giving the S89 and S90 New England seconds. So that will put the Wolfpack on the clock. We'll see what direction Luke is going here. And the Wolfpack will be pleased to select Booksy Jefferson from the Yukon Malamutes, the user Big Hops. For anyone who knows Vrain in Edmonton, this is actually his coworker in real life. So a fun book nerd guy. Always loving Nick Suzuki render too. But a very chatty, personable guy, very affable. Likes to learn a lot about the league, some great interests. Great guy to bring into your locker room and get a lot of talking going. I have no doubts he'll be a back starting player. This is a steal. I you can quote me on this 10 seasons from now. This pick is going to be a steal, and he's a wonderful pick. Had a great conversation with Bucksy. We weren't even doing much scouting. We were just talking. He wanted to surpass Rain in his draft and career. The draft hasn't happened so far. The career is still possible, but great trade up and pick by Luke. Absolutely.
Yes, you love that. You love that as a GM, that stickiness of somebody who has somebody who has a relationship in real life where where hey, we haven't seen him or her in a little while. Do you, like, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll see him at work tomorrow. So that stickiness is always great. So I'm sure that competitive edge to beat out your friend in the league as well is always a great place to lean into. So yeah, no doubt. Whenever Luke makes a decision to jump in, like he left on the board, that like you said, 10 seasons down the road, you're going to go, oh, of course they did it again.
Yeah, this will bring us up to pick 29, which is
29. Yeah.
Yet again, the Tampa Bay Barracuda. And they will be selecting Peter Shirokov, the user hockey fan. I don't have much information on hockey fan. Do you maybe have anything here?
I could not actually find a hockey Discord, and so it was kind of like a fun little treasure hunt during the scouting process to try to figure out who that was. Was not successful. So for what it's worth, hockey fan would love to get to know you. But I think, the earning has actually been pretty good. Just probably need a little bit of a push to make sure that continues. But Tampa Bay obviously seeing something here, and being connected to that Carolina locker room holds quite a bit of weight. And I actually don't think that this is hockey fans' first player in the SHL. I think that they're a recreate, but I would love to be corrected if that is not correct.
But yeah, another great pick by
check
Tampa Bay as they're loading up on the youth movement, to say the least. And we'll see pick 30 is heading in the direction of the Los Angeles Panthers.
Yes, hockey. So hockey fans' prior player was Ace Lightning, who was a great kind of like top end. I think 1400 to 1600 TPE.
Oh yeah, the old Baltimore GM. Yep.
Yep. And I don't know why I can't find them on Discord, but anyways, that's just a Easter egg hunt for another time.
Yeah, this will bring us to the Los Angeles Panthers pick, and they'll be selecting from the St. Louis Scarecrows, Kevin Broadway, the user Toast, the prodigal son of Hall of Famer Brett Broadway. Toast is a longtime SHL user. It's had its first player, I believe, in season 2. Wasn't very active then, but has come back. I think he came back around season like 8 or 9 or something, and has been a very active, longtime member of the SHL community from there. Great user who has he's GM'd St. Louis before. He's GM'd San Francisco for a long time, making them a strong team. It's a great pick, great backstop to have for a long time for the Panthers.
Yeah, I was kind of giggling. The California boy, Toast, going back after spending all the time in San Francisco to LAP. We had a great fun chat kind of just prior to the draft. I think Toast is an awesome person, as you said, has been around forever. Was really one of those folks that I got to know really well when I first started in the league in the early teens. Toast was kind of like really refreshed coming back from a little bit of a break for those first couple seasons. And so just, is a great pick for LAP, get the goaltender of the future. And again, like just another, hey, you're drafting the person as much as you're drafting the player, because Toast is a great ad for a locker room. And that brings up, is it Calgary on the clock?
That would be the Calgary Dragons at pick 31, yes. They will be selecting another goalie, Abigail Goche. I apologize if I mispronounced that. But the user Burb. Burb, great user. Colorado Raptor has played, I think, there for all of their players. Really fun, easy person to talk to. Their last player, Orange Cone, was also in Calgary, so it's kind of a reunion there. And a wonderful pick. Should be a great goaltender for the Dragons.
One of I would say the most active users in the rookie draft class for the 87 class. I think Burb had, at least when I checked earlier in the week, like over 400 messages in that chat. So definitely going to drive a ton of activity, and really is going to be a great ad for Calgary. I think bringing a ton of activity for the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic pick. Big fan of Burb.
Huge fan of Burb. I would really excited to potentially get to know them a bit better through this draft process, and knocked everything out of the park. Probably, in my opinion, probably a top 10-ish pick, if not for playing goaltender. And we could probably say that about all of the goaltenders that have gone so far, but really like Burb.
Yeah, this will bring us to the Cincinnati pick at 32. And they will be taking their co-GM with their earliest second-round pick, as they are obligated to do. Otherwise, why else would they take this complete bum? It's King Theoden, the user Frenchie, the Lord of the Rings defenseman coming back to Cincinnati, where his last player finished his career. Played a long time in Lap, but entered in Cincinnati with Derek Martin. Frenchie was a co-commissioner of the SHL, was the GM of the Ottawa Highlanders, and brought them into existence as an expansion GM. Wonderful person, great user, and should help making Cincinnati be a force in, if not the SHL, then at least the running community of the SHL.
Yes, keeping us on the train tracks is probably the best way to put it.
On the treadmill, I'd say.
Oh, you're talking about physically running, keeping the league running
absolutely.
and running.
Frenchie run. You do not know this emote?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, well, yeah, Frenchie he's practicing for his first marathon, I believe, or did one recently. But yeah, Frenchie run is a very notable thing about Frenchie.
God bless. God bless anybody who decides that they want to put themselves through 4 hours of running. But yeah, Frenchie's awesome, but I don't know that Seven probably would have waited longer if he wasn't obligated to take him at 32 here.
Yes, teams would have done what is in their best interest if they didn't have to do other things. News at 6. But this will bring us up to Denver on the clock at pick 33. The Glacier Guardians will be selecting Simo Haya, the user Mertzi. Mertzi he just had his second kid a couple days ago. So congrats to him there. Great person to talk to. Just, had an absolute joy. They're in the Music League at Ottawa. Very easy to talk to, very friendly. Finnish, allegedly, but excited to see him go to Denver. They're not looking to do the seasonal coaching, but should be doing the rest of the earning otherwise. And yeah, great pick for Denver here.
I agree. Don't really have anything else to add.
This will bring us up to the Cincinnati back-to-back selections. Cincinnati is trading the pick to San Francisco. They will be sending pick 34 in exchange for the Winnipeg 89-second and the New England 92nd. So that's 34 heading to San Francisco in exchange for 89 Winnipeg second and S90 New England second. San Francisco is now on the clock, and they'll be drafting Mike Mart, the user Mariano Martino, coming from the Thunder Bay Walleye with a decent bank and earning. It's a quality defenseman pick heading over to the Pride as, again, one of the two teams with the major youth movement in this draft. The Pride get a lot of talent and are continuing a dynamic young core.
Yeah, I really like Mike Mart. Definitely was well thought of by our scouts in Chicago. So I think this is a great pick, especially here, in the second round.
And Cincinnati is actually up with their next pick at 34. They'll be 35, sorry. And they will be looking to select. Oh, just bear with us. Yeah, they're going to take Swim Shady from Newfoundland, the user Big Noof. Noof is a longtime user. He was the original co-GM in Yukon. Has had some issue with sticking around with his players. Always comes back. Hopefully this one can stick out. He's a great guy when he's here, but just hoping to see some consistency moving forward from him.
Yeah, and always great to have, excuse me, always great to have another big Bruins fan, big Boston sports fan around. So
yeah, real bummer to have more Bruins fans. I agree. This will bring us up to the Nashville Sound on the clock.
I'd say we were doing pretty good at this point on our promise to for folks to buckle up, because we are now at more 2 hours past the start of the draft, at least in the GM forum, and I know a little bit short of 2 hours since we started streaming. So thanks for everybody who's sticking around and still with us.
Yeah, but this will bring up the Nashville pick. They'll be taking on another goaltender as the run of them continues. Montgomery Scholl, the user Carlson's. The bank and the TP profile is of a top end goaltender. He is known, made it known that his Discord activity maybe isn't as vocal and big as some of the other users before. But in terms of the user you're getting and the consistency in earning, you can't do much better than Carl, who's had some wonderful players. Is a great person and is a very solid pick for the Sound moving forward. Ace is getting a gem of a goaltender here for the long term, and excited to see what happens there.
Yeah, love Carl. Another great, excuse me, another great pick here in the Thunder Bay class. And I think if there's one thing that's stuck out to me, it's the solidarity of the goalies in this class, and that all of them have decided that they're going to stick it out as goaltenders. So Carl,
the person who was waffling was Rich, but he decided to stay. But if there was anyone who was going to switch, it was him. But yeah.
And so that takes us Nashville. Man, this is a deep draft. We're at 37, and we're still really kind of trudging along. So Cincinnati.
some
on the
great
clock
users
here.
still at this late in the draft too, which is a testament to the depth.
Yep.
But that'll bring us up to Cincinnati on the clock at 37. And it will be another goaltender. The user Agent Smith 630. Dalinar Colon. The Blackthorn from the Stormlight Archives. He nicknamed himself the Storm Wagon, which is a meme he told me about how Dalinar is apparently very thick and has a huge ass. Yeah, this is my favorite name and render in the class because it's my favorite book series. Smith is the SHL historian, has been around for a long time, has a Hall of Fame player in Ricard Björk, who was at the time the shot block leader before Hodor decided to came in and destroy any shot block records that ever existed. But a great user. The bank's light, but he makes money. He plans to write media soon, and a wonderful pick by Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean Wagner Svensson, I think it was last player was.
Yep.
Huge. Did Agent Smith sim or lead the sim team for a while, or am I misremembering that?
He was a co-head of the sim team, I believe, at one point.
Okay, yeah, in like maybe in the 50s and S50s and 60s.
No, it would have been
I was
60s
like,
or 70s.
okay,
not that far back.
I was actually just pretty surprised to see that his bank account was not more rich, because I just remember him being a big part of the sim team for such a long time. I was like, he has to have hundreds of millions. But great person, great ad.
Sub $1 million right now, surprisingly.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, if you look on the portal, when we cut over for the portal, his bank account was 160 million.
But yeah, this will bring us up to the next pick on the clock. The New Orleans Spectres will be selecting John Ludo Vinci, coming from the Nevada Battle Board. The bank count is very light at almost the max negative amount you could be. But bank is something fixable. The TP earning is solid, and hopefully a good career ahead for the Spectres.
Yeah, it seemed like there were a couple other teams that were thinking that Ludo might slip to them, because there were definitely some reactions in the GM chat at the time that Ludo snuck off the board. So not somebody I got to know during scouting, but definitely somebody that there's a few teams that we're interested in. And I think New Orleans is pretty happy with this pick. And is that the first pick from New Orleans in this draft? I think that's right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so interesting for them to kind of go find a diamond in the rough here in the second round with the one pick that they've got so far.
Yeah, those will bring us next on the clock. We'll be looking at the Toronto North Stars, I believe. And they will be taking Chad Yestuora. These are, oh God, how do you pronounce this? Chad Cam Golden Gun. Sorry, I couldn't see it quite that well.
I was like, what? I was like, why are you struggling with that one?
I couldn't see it. Yeah, he puts the thing over on the stream, so it's hard to see sometimes. But the TP is a bit light, but it is a waiver pickup. The bank is also a bit light, but those are fixable things. I didn't get to scout this particular user, but I'm excited to see how they do in Toronto, and hopefully a solid defenseman for the future.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously pretty tough, right? You join a Great Falls team that really just had a tough season, so to still be chipping away, active, still earning, at least from a chirper perspective, would love to just see a little bit more engagement in terms of like media, or job earning, but overall, to get to the 300 TPE mark, joining late in the season, here late in the second round, like that's a nod to how much depth is in this draft class. So excited to see what Cam Golden Gun does for Toronto. And that puts Nashville on the clock at 40.
Yeah, it was a trade with Lap, I believe.
Is that right?
Yeah, it would be a trade with Lap. Nashville would be sending the. God, it's so small. I gotta wait for it to come up on the YouTube.
Season 88.
Here we go.
Second,
It's the Madison second, pick 40 is heading to Nashville in exchange for a season 88 Baltimore second, which will bring Nashville to the clock. And they'll be selecting the former events head, Mysterious Fish, Nate Terpestra, coming from the Anchorage Armada with 34 million in the bank and a solid amount of TP at 334. The user profile is all really good for Nashville to get a steal of a pick this late in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, user with history, right? Like this screams like Ace is looking at a scouting sheet like, wait a minute, what is everybody else doing? So Mysterious Fish is great, been around quite a while, has earned pretty well, not necessarily max earning, but good consistent, potential for this to be a first line player for Nashville. Brings us back to the craziness that is Tampa Bay selecting again.
Chris McZ having himself a day. He'll be taking Patrick Swayze from the movie Dean Youngblood. He'll be taking Dean Youngblood, the user Figgy. Apologies. The TP is very light, but the bank is solid. Definitely a user profile you can work on if you get Figgy back in the motions of doing the SHL. Fun guy, easy to talk to. Figgy is a former GM of Anchorage, and he'll be heading to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Hiff, right? The earning is not necessarily there, but everything about the person, everything about the bank account, and the earning on the cash side is great. So, former player was a great depth piece, and so just probably looking for.
Oh, it's Rob Lowe, not Patrick Swayze. My bad. Good point.
I don't do movies and pop culture, so it's lost on me. I'm glad YouTube's keeping you honest. Yeah, and so we're in 87 now. So the season 91 is going to be a very interesting year to watch the Tampa Bay roster turnover, because they're going to all of a sudden have 8 or 9 new players on their team.
It's like, hey, everyone who was an older player. It's like have you read the book The Giver?
No.
When they reach a certain age, they release them. I won't spoil what releasing is for you, because I'm sure you're going to read it. But yeah, once you hit the age limit, you gotta go.
Yeah, so if you need free agents in season 91, and Tampa Bay has any actives at that point, maybe that's the direction to be looking.
Keep your eyes out to pillage the Barracuda in season 90. Advice from Nike.
Not pillage, just be prepared to take on their
raid them.
Recently dispersed veterans.
Is this one a trade, or is this the Manhattan pick? It is the Manhattan pick. Yep. Manhattan is selecting from the Ottawa Highlanders, Golumphuous Seal, the user Sophie M94. A big fan of Sidney Crosby. Sophie is a recreate their last player didn't quite pan out as they got a bit busy with school and work, but hoping to come back and be a goalie with a fun seal render. And excited to see how they do moving forward.
Yeah, so Sophie's
awesome. Great energy from Sophie.
Yeah, I mean, and at 42, like, what more can you ask for? I think that Sophie's going to fit in really well with Sky and the rest of the team in Manhattan. So, perfect pick for them, and excited for Sophie to end up in Manhattan. I think that they'll be super excited.
So bring us to 43 with Atlanta on the clock.
Yeah, so we are getting down here to the last couple picks of the second round. still a couple more active folks, both in recreates and new gen players. So there's still some value here left on the board late in the second round, which is not always the case in the SHL drafts. I think we are ready to go. So with the 43rd overall pick, the Atlanta Inferno are taking Valor Krez, user Severin, from the main timber.
Yeah, makes me think of Velevra back in the day. His user was Severin or something, I believe. But the profile definitely needs work. The training's a bit light. The money's a bit light. All things you can work on. You can come back from much greater deficits than this and have a great player. It's just about effort and putting it in when you want to. So hope to see that the player fortunes reverse and become a long-time great SHL user.
Yeah. Think ahead. Do we have any other upcoming trades? The answer is no. As we round out the second round. And so that puts Cincinnati on the clock at 44. Did I jump the gun with a trade? No, right?
Nope. They're going to be drafting from the Ottawa Highlanders. Minman, the user Dindog. From his last was probably IA, I believe, or probably inactive or something like that. It's a midman, a man who knows his own activity pretty well. Got to respect the self knowledge. But a fun guy when he's
is
in the
the render a potato?
I believe it is a potato or a chip of some kind.
The most self-aware potato of all time. That's wonderful.
But yeah, a great pick. Hopefully they can keep him active and earning long term. But yeah, solid pick.
In the last 4 picks of the second round now. Gosh, we've gone to 2014. 2014 is all of a sudden it's 48 picks in 2 rounds.
This will bring Hamilton on the clock, though. The Steelhawks making their first selection. And then we're taking Patty Maroon, the user Urku. The bank is a bit light, but the TP is very good for this point of the draft. Active on Discord. Hopefully they can get him earning with the bank wise, and he could be a very big steal in the long term. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, champion Patty Maroon. It's always worth taking a shot there, right? Like you said, and I think Kelowna has a great Kelowna hasn't had a ton of rookies in this draft. This actually may be the first one that I can. No, there's a couple more, but great locker room generally speaking. They tend to be able to bring Patrick and team bring quite a bit of activity. So as you said, if the earning is great, it's just a matter of getting maybe some of the cash up and keeping that momentum going. And this could be a great pick.
And this Chicago will be on the clock now.
Yeah. And if we've got the card ready, I'm happy to read it.
Yeah, so card is up and ready.
At pick 46, the Syndicator are happy to select Anik, user Anik, player name Anik from the San Diego title. Highly regarded with a ton of recommendations in our own locker room to take Anik. I think, one of those folks that we, again, like the TP number and the bank number may not be there, but from a person perspective, we think there's an opportunity here to get great engagement. And so we're excited to see if we can make Anik feel at home and help build a great late round steal here.
Yeah, Anik is a great person to have. The staying power is the big question mark, but if you can get them to staying, would be an absolute steal. Wonderful person to have around. At pick 47, the Philadelphia Forge are taking Luke Lee, the co-GM of the Philadelphia Forge, Golden Apricot. I believe he's the co-GM, right? Thank you. Now back me up here. The excellent gritty render, the name after our illustrious our illustrious commissioner, and Luke himself, the New England Wolfpack GM. GA has been a staple of the league for a long time, and excited to see him return to Philadelphia, where he will have a long career ahead of him.
Sorry, I missed it. What was the question?
Is he the co-GM of Philly?
No, Kale.
Oh yes, you're right.
But yeah, there were some early rumors that Golden Apricot could go very high very early. So I mean, the player behind the user behind the player, obviously beloved, with quite a few folks in the SHL. So I think, Philly is excited to have Golden Apricot. That brings us to the last pick of the second round.
Yeah, and it will be the Manhattan Rage selecting, and they will be taking Braden Gallagher, the user Braden's G. Don't know much about this particular user coming from Kelowna. They've not been earning much TP, but got a decent bank. Hopefully, they can get the earning going again and be a solid player for Manhattan moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just spoke too soon because all of a sudden we've got a couple more folks from Kelowna coming off. But I just lean into that's a great locker room, great culture. If they can get Gallagher up and earning, both from a cash and a TP perspective, it could
Correct
be a great
me if
pick.
I'm wrong, but I think we have one active player left on the board.
I see two that stick out to me, so we could probably just zip through these last couple.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, at 49, we have I had it right here. Tampa Bay Barracuda will be selecting at 49 and 50. And they'll be delving into the goalie pool, taking young P. Ush, user Snoo. Big fan of tracking flights in Finland, allegedly, if Finland exists. Solid bank account. The TP needs some work for sure, but Snoo heading to the Barracuda.
Yeah, Snoosu's super fun locker room person, so I think Tampa Bay is going to be excited. Tampa Bay are right back to it at 50. And thank you again to the team working in the background on sheets and OBS and everything, helping us run this dang thing. At number 50, Tampa Bay excited to select Doot, the user Standardan. I think I've got that right, and I think everybody
Standard
will.
Dan.
Standard and it's missing a letter to be Standard Dan. So
Well, I think you don't want to double D it, right? Well, maybe you want to double D. I don't know.
You always want to double D it. But yeah, do it with a interesting choice of render in the current climate of hate against 6-7. But
deserved.
Tampa Bay continues to add in this 87 class. which brings 51. I think we've got another trade, don't we? No. Yes. I will just skip through and kind of read the trade. So Denver will be receiving pick 51, which is originally the Winnipeg third-round pick from Seattle. Seattle will receive the Nashville third-round pick in season 88 and the Denver third-round pick in season 89. So that puts Denver here on the clock at pick 51. And at pick 51, Denver selects Finn LaFleur, Bro LaFleur 9, the user. A relatively decent TPE count at this point in the draft. Bank could use a little bit, but didn't get a chance to meet Bro LaFleur during scouting. But I think Denver kind of taking a shot here and hoping that they can bring some of that St. Louis magic to their roster over the course of the next couple seasons. Pick 52 has been passed, and Hamilton will be on the clock at 53. And Hiff, this is where you're absolutely responsible for player pronunciation, because I am not going to get it right.
Oh, this one's easy. This is Atu Gotu, based off, I believe it's an Atu Rati meme, like Atu Ratu is the GOAT. Heading to the Hamilton Steelhawks. TPE is, decentish for the draft point, but the bank at this point, they're all going to be pretty light. But hopefully they can make a good comeback, start earning, and be a solid player.
Which takes us to LAP at 54. Another half a dozen or so picks, I think, before we probably wind this thing down. And with pick 54, the Panthers select Winston Coles, left defenseman, user Cuffy. For folks that have been around for a long time, you probably recognize the name. Cuffy has been an SHL regular for quite some time. I think on his last player, I did actually a little bit of scouting on his last player. Said, Cuffy, is this a player that you're coming back with, or is this kind of a one that you're just going to kind of kick around and enjoy the J? And he's like, I might be somewhere in between. And then he's back again with Winston Cole. So, we love Cuffy. We hope Cuffy will come back to kind of full activity, but has earned pretty well at the start of Cole's career. And we'll see if that sticks on for Los Angeles here.
The league definitely needs more newfies. So having a good Cuffy would be good.
Yeah, Cuffy is the best. Pick 55 is a pass, which then puts Toronto on the clock at 56.
And Toronto will be taking Dave Wildcat, the user and Wildcat. Bank and TP a bit light, but hopeful they can change that. We'll have to see how the future holds for the Wildcat with the OV render.
Hey, we're still going. We're in the late 50s and we are still going. So pick 57 puts the Renegade on the clock. Is this the first pick that the Renegade have made?
Yeah, this is the first Texas pick of this draft. We'll see what direction the Renegades are going.
Coop is always cooking something. So even at 57, they'll probably be looking to find a little bit of value. And they tend to do pretty well here late in the drafts, finding some great folks. I may have spoken too soon. This name might be harder than the last one.
So the Texas Renegades will be selecting Leandre Chenevre, I'm sure I butchered that. But heading to the Texas Renegades.
Is that French?
I'd imagine. It's a guess. It's a hope and a prayer.
You nailed it if it is.
No, I don't think anyone would say my French nailed anything. But
I could feel it deep in your throat. Chèvre. And that puts Cincinnati on the clock at 58. Pyro's clicking about as fast as possible in the background here. So we
we are going super speed.
Huge shout out to Pyro and Ara who are working everything in the back. Pyro is like feverishly clicking. At pick 58, Cincinnati is selecting Jonathan Carton, user Racing Jays 427. Similar story. We just need a little bit more on TPE, a little bit more on earning, and potential for Cincinnati to have a great player here. 59 puts Montreal on the clock. With what will presumably be their last rookie added in this really big class that they put together.
Yeah, and they will be selecting Bonk, the user K97, heading over. He is active on Discord, so hopefully he's watching the draft. They can get him earning and on track. The bank needs work, the TP needs work, but coming from the Falcons, hopefully a good career can come ahead.
This is so good. It's the perfect player name.
Bonk. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Bonk.
Makes me miss Radek Bonk in the NHL.
I ask again, where do you store this information?
You don't know Radek Bonk?
No.
He has a son named Oliver Bonk. He's a Philadelphia Flyers prospect. You have season tickets to the Bruins. You don't know anything about the NHL? What are you doing here?
He's 50 years old. He played in the league when I was a child.
Yeah, and?
I guess 2007. Nashville. Interesting. All right, we'll keep moving. Sorry. At 60, Chicago is selecting the user Gold Blue, Marco Darbizio from UConn. We've got a pretty good pipeline of folks coming from UConn. So Gold Blue, somebody we hope we can help kind of bring back and love the baseball render, of course. And that brings up Atlanta at 61. I've said it 4 or 5 times, but everybody that's stuck around, thank you. We all appreciate everybody engaging and being a part of the league. It's always great to have a lot of activity around these drafts. They're some of the most exciting parts of the off season. So thank you.
Easily the most exciting part of the off season.
Well, depends on if you won a cup or you're up for a player award, then maybe in 2 weeks' time you might be interested. Or if you're a new create in the season 88 SHL Draft will be next weekend. So there's plenty of fun stuff to do the next 3 or 4 weeks until we get into the next season. And at 61 overall, the Atlanta Inferno are selecting Mark Granite, a rock star for sure. User TGERV or TGERV. Pretty good TPE for this point in the draft. Just needs some earning, and hopefully that locker room in Maine can help build that rock harder, I guess. Word choice. We're losing it here in the third round. So that's pick 61, Atlanta, Mark Granite, TGERV. 62 through 65 have all been passed, and so pick 66, Toronto, is on the clock.
Yeah, and they'll be taking John Marston, the user King Tifor. TP is actually quite good, almost 300. Bank is about 1.3 million, so could use some work. But for this point of the draft, it's a pretty solid player profile and definitely something you could work on.
And a great render. Love the Red Dead render. Pick 67 is passed. Pick 68 is forfeited, and I don't recall why pick 68 is forfeited. So, Hiff, while you're doing your thing, I'm going to double check what happened there. Oh, there's not even any context on the draft thread of who owned the pick originally.
Which pick?
Pick 68 was forfeited.
68.
New England, Denver, Minnesota. What did Minnesota do that was naughty?
Who knows? But Hamilton at pick 69 is taking Jeremy McKay. These are Jer. Again, we're at the point of the draft where basically everyone has some notable flaws in terms of earning and bank. So hopefully we'd see that get turned around.
And we skip through basically the rest of the third round with picks 70 through 80 all passed, where we get to 80, where Texas is back on the clock. Let's see how fast Pyro's fingers really are. '81. Yes, thank you. We've got 2 more picks before we wrap up, folks. So be out of here in 5 minutes, hopefully.
And this one's one of my favorite names from the Shoresy show. We have Remy LeBeau being drafted. The TP and money is a problem coming from the Quebec City Citadels. Oh, fuck a lawyer is a great SHL username, and we'll see how hopefully they can come back and start earning.
Yeah, just got to stay out of trouble with the cops there, right? If you ever need help. I don't know if that means we have a lawyer or, oh, shoot, I'm afraid of the lawyer.
Both.
And that brings us to 82 through 90. All of those picks have been passed. And on the clock at pick number 91, our final pick of the season 87 SHL entry draft is the Denver Glacier Guardians. It is player Sylvian Meyer, user Sylv5. So again, congrats to Mr. Irrelevant for Sylvian. Hopefully that turns out to be somebody that we can look back on and say, hey, Denver, that last start throw really mattered. So thanks again, everybody, for being part of the draft. That will conclude our season 87 SHL entry draft. Hiff, any final parting thoughts?
Yeah, just holy crap, Tampa Bay. almost a very unprecedented amount of players in one season. It's reminiscent of the 62 Winnipeg draft in terms of quantity. We'll have to see about quality. But yeah, congrats to everyone who got drafted. Excited to see how this particular draft will impact the teams moving forward and how it will cement its place in history.
With that, everybody, we're signing off.